All right, guys, I got some pretty big and funny breaking news here for you. So, Trump's Department of Justice and his FBI just came out and said that Jeffrey Epstein definitely didn't blackmail any powerful figures. He definitely didn't keep a client list, and he wasn't murdered. I came out tonight on a random Sunday night and said this. Now, Crystal has a great theory as to why this is coming out now. I'm sure you guys have seen that Elon Musk and Trump are feuding again. Elon just started his own third political party. And remember, the last time they fought, Elon said that Trump was in the Epstein files. And so he might fear, like, oh shit, Elon might actually have some of the Epstein dirt on me, and maybe he's going to release it. So now he's telling his Department of Justice and his FBI, you guys put the official stamp on it and go out there and say, there wasn't even a client list, bro. I don't even know what you're talking about. And so this way, if/when something comes out, he could just scream fake news. And he could say, oh, it's part of Elon's doing a witch hunt against me. They're coming after me. None of it's true. Look, the FBI, the DOJ said they looked into it. And actually, there isn't even, he didn't blackmail anybody. And there's no client list. And he definitely killed himself. So this is, it screams guilty from the top of their lungs. Also, Crystal just showed me that Pam Bondi said, which was probably only a few months ago, that I have the Epstein client list on my desk to review. So the list is on your desk, but now there's actually no list. I mean, the other thing that's crazy is we know from the leaks, or the report, I should say, from Gawker from a decade ago, that there definitely was a client list because they had the black book, Epstein's black book. And he kept the name of a lot of the people who contracted with him and used his criminal services. He kept their names there. And so that's how we got some of the information that we already have. And then, of course, on the murder thing, I mean, on the fact, they say he wasn't murdered, but remember, guys, the security camera, which was on him, broke. It broke. It went off when he happened to kill himself. And also there was, a famous forensic scientist did an autopsy on him and said he had injuries consistent with murder, that it was not like suicide type injuries. So, I mean, the thing stinks to the high heavens. We already know there's a tremendous amount of evidence that Epstein was Mossad, which is Israeli CIA. And so if he was Israeli CIA, what was he in the business of doing? He was in the business of getting dirt on American businessmen, American politicians, so that Israel could hold that over the heads of our government to make them do whatever Israel wants them to do, right? So the other point I can't get out of my head is, like, if you're somebody who fancies yourself anti-establishment and on the right, like some populist right-winger, you need to come out now and say, I'm totally done with Trump and Trumpism. MAGA was a scam. It's always been a scam. I was wrong. Kamala would have been way better. This guy betrayed us. Because remember, the whole Epstein thing, this defined the political identity for so many people on the so-called anti-establishment right. And so now here you have your guy coming out and basically, overturning the table and saying, nope, it was all bullshit, and actually the official story is the correct story, and there's nothing to see here at all. No, it's bullshit. Of course, Trump's lying to cover his ass. It makes me think that something is probably imminently going to come out, like some pictures, some videos, some extra evidence. I mean, look, we already know he's in the Epstein files. There's no doubt about that. In fact, let me do a shameless plug for a video I did on this exact topic. The title is Exposed, Proof Donald Trump is in the Epstein Files. So type that in with secular talk into the YouTube search engine, and you'll see, I go through all of the evidence. I mean, there's over 20 or 30 different sexual assault allegations against Trump. We have Epstein on literal audio tape saying, I was Trump's best friend for a decade. We know that the first time Trump and Melania had sex, it was on the Lolita Express, which is Jeffrey Epstein's pedophile plane. We know all of this stuff. So the evidence is already, as tall as Mount Everest. But I should also point out that the guy Michael Wolff, who did those interviews with Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, Michael Wolff has claimed that he has already seen about a dozen pictures that Epstein had of Trump and stuff he had done. And he describes one of the pictures. I'll give you a little warning here. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear this part because it gets gross. But according to Michael Wolff, one of the pictures that he's seen that Epstein had was Trump with a bunch of girls, I think 3 girls of a, quote, uncertain age. I think we all know what that means. And Trump was standing there with a stain on his pants, and one or multiple of the girls were bending over and pointing at him and laughing at the stain on his pants. Gee, I wonder what that stain was. This is what Michael Wolff has come out and said. And again, this is the guy who did audio interviews with Jeffrey Epstein, extensive audio interviews. We also know that Jeffrey Epstein had intimate knowledge about all the inner workings and the details of what was happening in Trump's first regime. So you got to ask yourself, well, how the fuck does he know that, right? Because, again, he's very likely Mossad, definitely had a client list, definitely did not kill himself, but now the DOJ and the FBI are coming out and saying, no, for sure, there's absolutely positively nothing to see here, don't worry about it. So again, fell for it again award for every single so-called anti-establishment right-winger. I warned you guys. People like me were around warning you from the beginning. This guy's a con artist. This guy's a scammer. This guy's one of the elites that he pretends to hate. And we warned you in advance about all of this. And now everything's coming to fruition. So this really puts that Fox News interview into perspective where Trump was asked if he would release the Epstein files. And in the edited version of the interview, Fox has him saying, yeah, I'd do that, right? But the first time it aired, you got to see the whole answer. And the answer was, yeah, I'd do that. And then he pauses and goes, well, maybe that one not so much, because, you don't want to get any innocent person caught up in that. There's a lot of phony stuff in that world. So, of course, he knew, man. He knew. He knows there's pictures. He knows there's videos. Again, go watch the video I did on this, which provides all the evidence as to how we know Trump is in the Epstein files. But now it makes me feel like it's imminent that something's going to come out on him. So we'll see if that happens. But final point here, and I really want you guys to think about this. Who was president when Jeffrey Epstein killed himself? Who was president at the time? It was Trump. So here you have a guy who's got tremendous dirt on him, and he happened to be the president with all the power in the world at his fingertips. And it was under Trump that Epstein was killed in, I think it was a federal prison, right? It was federal prison?
Yeah.
Epstein killed in a federal prison while Trump was president, and Trump knew about all the dirt. And remember, it's on the record. People know that the FBI did seize, the federal government did seize all these pictures, all these videos, all this paperwork. And now the question is, where is that stuff? And why are they playing hide the ball? So now, not only am I convinced he's in the Epstein files, I'm convinced he was like the number one client. But I also feel like something might imminently come out and he's trying to get ahead of it and call it fake news and just pawn it off to a witch hunt from Elon or whoever. But now I'm also suspicious about who exactly had Jeffrey Epstein whacked. Interesting question, isn't it?